Welcome to another Garage Time with Goody. Today, what this video is going to be about, it's going to be about the code P0018 and what could be causing it. Because there's quite a few things that could be causing it, and a lot of people scratch their heads and they think, wow, I've done all of these things and it's still giving me that code. And in fact, some people spend thousands of dollars to fix the code when you don't have to. There's always something that you're forgetting, and I'm going to tell you one of those things today. We're going to go through it. It could be your oil galley bolts. Here, I'll pop up a video of them right here. While you have this opened up, there's two bolts behind the cam phasers. There's one there and one there. Those are the oil galley bolts, and you want to see if those are loose, and if they are, you can go ahead and take them out and put some Loctite on them and tighten them back up. If you don't have any Loctite, just make sure that they're tightened down pretty good, because if not, you can lose oil pressure from those bolts, and that can throw your timing off. There are tensioners inside the motor that tensions the timing chain. In some of the revisions they were plastic, and some of them they're metal. Those tensioners can go bad, causing the timing chain to stretch a little bit more than usual, which that can cause it to jump a tooth, and that will cause it to die on you, and you will still get the P0018 code. You can replace just about everything and try all these different methods, and you could still be getting the P0018, which just means that the two camshafts are not responding right to each other. It could be the cam phaser sensor. Usually not though, because you can take a multimeter and test that. In the 3.2 and the 3.6 Pentastar engines, which go into quite a few different vehicles, they go into Dodge Caravans, Jeeps, some Dodge Rams, Dodge Journeys, Chrysler 300s, Chrysler 200s, and in my case I have a 3.6 Dodge Journey, and I ran into the problem, the old tick problem, and that is where I had to change the rocker arms inside of my engine. And then once I got in there, I inspected the lobes on my camshafts. Well, I had to replace one of the camshafts, and if you order one brand new from Dodge or from Mopar, it's going to cost close to $350 as of 2023. And I looked for them used, and I was really in a hurry. I did find them used online, but I was in a hurry to get the job done. So what I did was I called the local junkyard, and he was like, yeah, come on down, we got some. And I had been to this junkyard before, and he used to let me go and pull my own parts off of the cars, and then I would check the parts and then bring, I'd make sure they're okay, and then I would buy them. But this time he already had these parts pre-pulled, and they were sitting in a closet, and I didn't have time to inspect them. I just bought them, brought them back home, and then what happened was this. If you look at the camshaft, this is the side that's going to have the cam phaser. The cam phaser is not on this, but this is the side where the cam phaser would go, and this is the side that has something called a reluctor wheel, a toner wheel, tone wheel. It's called many different things, but in reality, what this little wheel is a magnetic wheel that sits at the end of the camshaft. It has to be aligned in a certain way, and what it does, it spins around, and the cam phaser sets in between them, and it relays information back from each camshaft. It has magnetic strips in it that gives a signal to the cam phaser timing sensor, which is mounted right here when it's on. So if this toner wheel is not aligned properly, then it's going to be in the wrong spot, and it's going to be telling the wrong information to that cam phaser sensor. These tone wheels you don't want to get magnets around them because it will ruin them. It'll have an intake, which would be up here, and an exhaust one, which is this camshaft, and it tells the cam phaser sensor where each of these camshafts are in relation to each other. Now, if you have a problem with this toner wheel, and most people don't even acknowledge the toner wheel, it's going to be feeding the wrong information to that sensor, and that is going to throw the code P0018. This is what caused the code in my case, and it's a lot more rare than the other things that can cause it. I took the part back to the junkyard the next day because this wheel was bent. So he takes a rubber mallet, and I'm just going to gently tap around the toner wheel evenly until it comes off. And you can see the end of this, that it's actually moving and it's coming off. You don't want to hit it too hard, barely tap it around there. You don't want to bend it or anything. Now, if you have a vise, you can put this in a vise. I'm just holding it here on my lap. You can see it's coming off. Just be patient with it. And that toner wheel will come off just like that. And he pounds this off, which I didn't even know would come off, but he pounded this tone wheel off. My old tone wheel was fine. It was just a cam lobe that was ate up on my camshaft. So we took my old tone wheel, and he had just put it on. To tap it on, same way I took it off. And I'm just gonna go around and make sure it's even all the way around. Just like that. And he said, that's all you have to do. Through trial and error, I learned that that's not so. This wheel has to be in a certain spot. If the wheel is not lined up in a certain spot, it will not read this tone wheel correctly, and it will throw that error code P0018. If you can take this toner wheel and you can move it with your hand, you see how that's moving back and forth here? What's going to happen when you put that back in the cylinder, it's going to move on you. Face two problems here, and this is why you should buy a new camshaft or a good used one, is because one, you're going to need to know where to put the notch, set this notch accordingly on the camshaft. Two, you're going to have to stop this from spinning around. If you have no other way to buy a camshaft and you want to do what we call some jerry rigging, then it is possible to do it, but a lot of people probably don't recommend it. And what you can do, you can buy some glue, and I'm going to give you the link. It's this glue right here. And what you do, you put some on the inside of this tone wheel here. Before you put it on with the glue, you will want to put the notch in the right place. And in this situation, I'm going to show you with a video where the notches line up on the first cylinder head on the Dodge Journey. That would be the front cylinder head. That's the intake and the exhaust camshafts. You want to make sure that your camshafts are in time. This is the front left cylinder on a 3.6 Pentastar engine, and you want to make sure that the notches are lined up on these tone wheels. This is the position that the notches should be in on the tone wheels in relation to each other. You will also want to make sure that they are lined up like that. If not, you will get a P0018 error code. If you want to know where the other ones line up, or if you don't even want to use my diagram, you can look it up by the part number on Mopar's website, and you can see where the notch is on the tone wheel, and you can line that up. You'll want to put that glue on, because that glue is a special glue that can withstand heat and last for years. That's how you can reuse the camshaft and to put the tone wheel back on. And it has to be in that exact spot, because if not, this is magnetic and it has magnetic strips on the inside of this wheel, and it tells the sensor different positions of where this crankshaft is at. So if you don't get it right, you're going to get that error code, and that is what could be causing your P0018 error code. So to sum it all up, you either get a new / used camshaft, test the end of it to see if you can move this to the left or the right, because it could be misaligned. Check for a misaligned tone wheel, and then make sure it is aligned properly. There is an expensive tool that you can use to check it, but it's much easier just to do it from observation. The only way I would do the rigging thing is if you had no money or no other way to get the part. I mean, that will work, but use that as a last resort. I hope this video helps someone out there. Leave a comment in the comment section below. And until next time, another one bites the rust.